Welcome to day 26. In day 26, you'll learn how to use a variety of adjustment layers and layer adjustments or image adjustments to change color and hue, saturation, contrast, highlights, shadows. And your assignment is to change Tommy's eye and hair color using layer masking and the methodology in this video. So the image you'll actually use for this assignment will be posted to Edmodo. It is not the photograph of me. But I'm going to go ahead and use this photograph for the demo. So the first thing you want to do is open your image in Photoshop, and then you want to copy the background layer twice. So Control J, Control J. Again, you could right click on this and you could duplicate layer, or you could go up here and you could go layer, duplicate layer, and all of those would work. Okay. Then basically on layer 1 copy, we're going to add a layer mask, and we're going to mask out the hair. Okay. So I'm going to mask the hair, and you can see that I'm masking, 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 and it's showing up right here in my mask, but I can't see it. And this is one of those times where the backslash key, so if you go to the letter P, then to the right of that you have your brackets, and to the right of the brackets you have a backslash key. If you click on the backslash key, if you click on or off the backslash, you can get a visual sort of description of your mask, and that is like this red sort of film on here. You're not painting red, but what you're doing is you're masking. And so I'm going to mask all the hair. Now it's very, very important to actually zoom in when you're doing this for your assignment. I don't have time for the demo, but that you make your brush itsy bitsy teeny tiny and you get every individual like strand of hair. Okay? You don't get the jacket, you only get the hair. Otherwise, it's going to look really weird, which I'll show you in my video, because I'm not going to take the time to do that. For the sake of this tutorial, we'll say that that is properly layer masked, which it is not. It's incredibly sloppy, and this is not an easy thing to do, so it shouldn't take you 3 minutes to do it. It should take you quite some time to do it and do it correctly. If not done correctly, and you can see sort of like this huge halo of masking like you're going to see in just a second when I change his colors, then it's probably going to count as a 50 in the grade book. So take your time. You've got all block. I'm only asking you to do one image, and you should be good to go. So the next step to this process, I'm going to use the backslash key, and I'm going to take off the visible mask, okay? But I know that the mask is still here, and then I'm going to click on the layer below it. And if you think about this coming down diagonally to the left from your mask, it should make sense. Okay, so I've got the hair, it's masked down to this layer 1. And if I come up here and I do image adjust, there are a bunch of different things to choose from. I could choose hue saturation, and I could slide this back and forth until I get all the different colors that I might want. Okay, I can also increase the saturation and sort of punch up the color, make it really extreme. Okay, I can go lighter and darker with this, and I can also break it down into individual channels or do like some custom presets. Okay, I'm not going to choose that for a second, but that's one way to do it. I could also image adjust, and I can do curves. And curves is kind of cool because it breaks it down into the histogram. And so I can choose red, and then I can pick up this line and I can add red, or I can take red away. I can also do this with just the shadowed areas, which are down here, the midtones, which are here, and the highlights, which are here, which is quite interesting. Again, I can add green. Oops. I can add green, or I can take green away and get some purple, purpley pink hair. Actually, I look good with pink hair. Look at that. And blue. Okay. Oh, purple hair. Even better. Okay, so we'll say that I'm going to go with the purple hair thing. But you can see, around the edges, like around my ear and, right here in my hair, things are not masked well. That is not ideal. You want to be pretty spot on with that. So the next step is going to be to change my eye color. So with my layer 1 copy selected, because that's where I did all the work on my hair. Okay, that's where I took all the time to mask this hair layer. It's really important to Command J that layer, so I don't have to remask the hair. Otherwise, you have to remask the hair, and it's a total nightmare. It's also going to default when you make a copy layer of a layer with a mask. It's going to default to selecting the image. Huge mistake is that I come in here right now and I start painting with black instead of masking. So make sure you stop for a second, make sure your mask is selected before we mask out the eyes. And so the next step is we're going to mask out the eyes because we want to change the eye color. So I'm going to go back to my brush tool like I do with all my masking. If you have any questions about masking, go to day 11. Okay, again, I'm masking away, and I can see that it's popping up in my layer mask over here, but I can't see it, so I use the backslash key. And then I can see where this is. I want to make sure I only get the eye color, and that I don't get anything kind of around the eye, especially the skin tone, because that looks really weird when you change colors. I'm going to get everything around my eye, and then I can hit the backslash key again. I know that the mask is there. I can see it in my mask. And then, so if I mask the eyes on layer 1, copy 2, I want to drop down and to the left again and select the image. Down and to the left, I select the image, and then I image adjust. And again, I can use saturation. Really, any of these that play with color will work. I can use saturation, and I can change the color of my eyes. I could also, come in here, image adjust, and again, I like curves. Let's say that I want to make my eyes green, so I can select green, and I can increase the green, and now I have these really crazy green eyes. You can even do it multiple times, like so say I want like kind of a blue-green. Like a teal. Ice blue. Scary. So there you have it. So the last thing, once you change the eye and hair color of Tommy, I'd like you to take Tommy and put Tommy in a different place in the world. So I found a wall of graffiti, because if you have purple hair and blue eyes like that, you should definitely have a graffiti background. And so I copied and pasted that into here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask, and I'm going to mask out only where I would be in that image. And so I could start masking like that in kind of a blind way, or I can actually drop the opacity down a little bit on this, and I can mask out. I'm not dropping the opacity on the mask, I'm only dropping the opacity on the image so I can find where I am. And then I would mask out every place where I was, get myself out of the Spanish classroom and into graffiti land. And again, you can backslash so you can sort of see what you missed. And just bring the opacity of that layer back up, and all of a sudden I'm in graffiti land. So again, your day 26 assignment is to take the image of Tommy, not the image of me. Take the image of Tommy that's posted to Edmodo and change Tommy's eye and hair color using the methodology in this video. Take a screen grab of your work showing your layers and your layer masking, and put Tommy in a different background. So your layer should look identical to this right here. When you take a screen grab, if I don't see this, you guessed it, it's a 50. Have fun.